All right, let's see. Hopefully this will stay up, but I got lip conditioner. Hopefully this is real cute. I want to hug my lips, like it's like clear, but it does feel good on my lips. So this Ruby Kisses lip mask. Again, I've been really feeling Ruby Kisses. So all right, so the Airbnb, but my last experience was a little bit crazy. So let's get into it, okay? All right, so where I think I messed up when it came to Airbnb, I think I messed up where looking at the rooms, like that should have been a dead giveaway for me, but it wasn't. I saw a couple rooms and I was like, okay, this is cool. I could do this, you know? Like, it seemed cool, like, but it was a little nerve-wracking because the owner was asking for my ID. And I'm like, well, why does this person need my ID? When, you know, when you're on Airbnb, you're already putting your profile picture. You're already putting your information to have a profile. So I was just trying to figure out, like, what exactly did that person need in order for them to, you know, say that I can stay there. I found that a little suspicious, you know what I mean? All right, y'all, I've been liking this lash set. And I found another one like it by a different brand, but it's giving like mink. This is medium, and then these are long, so I'm excited. It's definitely giving mink. So let me see if I can find my tweezers. Yeah, like I officially found the lashes that I like, so I'm gonna stick to it and only look for those kinds. But anyway, so yeah, I went on and I saw, you know, the room. It looked pretty decent, and I was like, okay, but what should have been a determining factor for me was when I didn't see the entire house. I'm sorry, I think that I've had my share of rough Airbnbs, but they all have come with the basic essentials, such as the bathroom, such as the water, such as the lights, such, you know, that you don't think that something like that could happen to you, you know? So so when I finally do make the reservation, they didn't send me the address until after I made the reservation, like an hour. Now, mind you, I made the reservation 2 weeks before, and it wasn't until after, like when I made the reservation, up until an hour prior to me getting there. Okay, an hour, which I thought was a little sketchy because I was already doing a 2-hour drive to them. And, you know, if it had been anybody else, you don't know how long a person is going to drive, so why give it to them an hour before? So those were two dead giveaways, which was the fact that, you know, he was asking for my ID before, and yeah, he was asking for my ID before, and he gave me the address an hour before I got there. So I see the place, and it looks like a really nice home. Okay, good. I'm like, thank you, Lord. I made a good decision. This didn't turn out as bad as I thought it was going to be, because it, like, the suspicion was definitely there. Yeah, but I definitely should have listened to my gut instinct on that one. So I get there, and I was like, okay, it looks cool from the outside. Now, here's the thing. Every time I go to an Airbnb, there's always somebody, it's as if somebody's out there waiting for me to come. Like, it's always, even here. Like, I always have somebody waiting for me at this Airbnb. So that's already irky and agitating, right? So, you know, I get there, and it's somebody waiting outside, basically. And he's like, and I had to ask him, and they just sit there and wait. I don't like that. They just sit there and wait, and they wait for you to say something to them first. mind you, these are supposedly like other people who are renting out rooms in the place, but for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe they're the lookout people, to watch out people, I don't know, but every time I've gone into it, I've always go into a situation with these Airbnbs where somebody always waiting at the door, outside, in the perimeter, like always, like I can bet my last dollar there's always that situation. So I'm like, Regina, like, don't get bent out of shape, even though it annoys you and it's predictable. Don't get bent out of shape. So this was a driveway situation, and I asked the person, if they were going to stay there or if they were leaving. And so he's like, oh, I stay here, and I'm just trying to, I'm about to go in myself. And I'm like, of course you are, right? I still think this person was like the lookout person. I do. So I go inside the house. The moment I go inside the house, it was complete and utter disgust. From opening the door to going, like, so when you open the door, you're immediately looking at the stairs going up, right? So as soon as you open the door, there's stairs going up, right? And then on the other side so there's stairs, and then there's a little mini hallway going straight. And so in that mini hallway going straight, there's a locked door, and then there's a locked door on that side of that miniature hallway. I never questioned it. What I did question, well, I did question that, but I also questioned, like, why are the stairs so dirty? It was wood stairs, but they were completely dirty. The door, when you come into the door, it was cracked open, like it wasn't closed all the way. It was like as if it had been like those doors with the metal bracket on top that kind of slows down when the door opens or closes. It was one of those, but when those are broken, it leaves the door ajar. And if it leaves the door ajar, the door is going to stay open unless you forcibly close it or open it. But in this case, it was an automatic lock with that type of gadget. So the lock is supposed to automatically lock. But if that gadget on top is broken, then that automatic lock has nothing to lock onto. So it was like the automatic lock was locking, and you could see the lock coming out to lock the door, but the door wasn't closed. Does that make sense? So when a person would come in and out the door would slam so loud because that lock was just sitting outside of the door, because the automatic lock was actually working, but the gadget on top was not allowing the door to close. So it was automatic, like, maintenance issues from the jump, right? So it gets worse. So I'm looking at the directions, and I'm seeing that, I have to go up the stairs, and I have to make an immediate right. The immediate right leads to my room. So I get in there, and I'm like, the immediate right. So as I'm in there, as I'm like going through, I see that the stairs are dirty, the walls are dirty, the stairs have, like, it's creaking, like it's aged really bad. Like everything is just what you can imagine is wrong about this house. It is. Like, it is. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I just come into? Like, that's how I'm thinking. Like, what did I just come into? And so I get to the room. I open the door. Okay, this is still broad daylight, still during regular business hours, whatever. And I get to the room. And there are, like, it was so creepy, it was ridiculous. But I get to the room, and there are like 3 beds, right? And there were 3 beds. It was a giant room, and it was 3 beds. So it was a queen on both sides, and then there was a bed in the middle, which was a twin, right? Then the floors, the wood was uneven. Like I could have easily tripped because the wood was uneven. There was this like old disheveled looking lamp there. When you turned that off, there was no lighting in the room, so it was pitch black. Okay, so that was the only thing working. And then y'all, so I'm gonna show you this Airbnb. I get the worst luck in everything, in every single thing and aspect of my life. That's why I made a vow to myself that in 2025, I'm going to only put me first. Because every time I invest my time or my energy into something, it always goes wrong, it always fails, or I always get the worst end or the short end of the stick. Y'all, I went into this Airbnb and I've never seen such lies. I've never seen such lies. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm speaking about because this is disgusting, okay? So when I come into the room, this is what we see, right? Then, I don't know if they're doing construction or if they've moved out and just left everything in the way that it is. Look at this. Look at this. None of that shit up there worked. This looked like some place to just hold their junk. The floor was uneven, and then it had like some sort of like a back, it was like a utility type of mat that they had on the floor to, I guess, try to even out the uneven wooded floor. So they tried to use that, but you could definitely tell it was like an outside construction mat that they put, and then they put like runner rugs over top of it, right? And so I'm looking at it and I'm just like, this has got to be a joke. Like, and it was dirt on all the corners of the room, like the house too, but the room more specifically. And so I'm just like, this can't be real. Like, this really can't be real. Being as though my time, I have to work in the morning, and if I make any type of moves right now, I may as well just call out of work tomorrow. Honestly speaking, I'm still debating on that. But, and another thing, there's no AC in here. Okay, so it's hot, barely any ventilation, and no air conditioning. So I feel like this house is abandoned and they just threw furniture in here, y'all. Like, I really do. This is between the beds. And so then I'm thinking, like, do I have to share a room with somebody? Like, that wasn't in the description. And so I immediately get upset because I'm like, I did not ask for this. I did not ask for, like, this was not told to me that I was going to have to share a room with somebody. It wasn't told to me, and it was not on the advertising page for Airbnb, right? It made it look like I had my own bathroom, which is what I wanted, my own, living space. That's essentially what I wanted. And I didn't have that. Like, I had the bathroom and I had the room, but it was the dungiest looking place I've ever been. So, after that, I'm like, upset and mad, of course, and I'm trying to reach out to the host, and of course, he's not available, of course, right? And I'm just like, and at that moment, I knew, because, he's probably had so many complaints that he just figured if he don't answer, that the person is going to stay booked there. And the way he had it set up was that you can book, but if you do a refund, you only get a portion of that refund back, if not any. I don't think you got anything back, to be honest with you. So I was just completely disgusted. I was hurt. I was disgusted. And I was like, you know, Regina, like, you're in work, and you got here for training, and with this particular job, if you don't pass the training within a certain amount of time, you get fired, you know, you get fired. So my main and only objective was just to pass this class and deal with and bite the bullet of this place, you know what I mean? So I was trying to make the best of it, you know. But let me continue on with this place. The bathroom, the shower, okay, had a half a shower door, a half of a shower door, okay, a half, which means when I took a shower, the floor would kind of get wet because there was only a half a shower door. The lights inside did not work. There was no lights working anywhere in that home. And it was a pretty big home, but what it looked like was that people invested in homes that nobody was investing into, and then they would just buy it and rent it out and did not put any type of work towards it, expecting for it to just stay the way that it was. Like the picture that they even had up, it was more so pictures of when it was first newly bought. Like it was not accurate pictures at all. So they was just going off that. He was going off of that. I don't know if it was they or he. Like I'm still trying to figure that out. But so I see the guy that was in the car when I first rolled up, and I told him, I said, well, I saw him in the house. I'm like, well, this is pretty horrible. Like, and he was just like, yeah, well, you know, a lot of people have complained about it because it is false advertisement. It was definitely a scam. It was definitely a scam. But I was, okay, being the nice person that I can be. And this is why I say, like, it sucks sometimes when people prejudge or look at you differently, or just, you know, have this like idea of you without even knowing you, because I know I'm a really nice person, and sometimes that hurts me. It hurts me. And so what I was trying to do, because I still stayed, and I stayed because I was ready to go, but I stayed because I said, you know what, I can't get up and go anywhere. I work tomorrow, and I can't get up and go anywhere, right? So I was like, I'm gonna just have to bite the bullet on this, make the best of it, and do what I need to do while I'm here, right? So like the area was a really nice area. It's a really safe area, but the house wasn't taken care of. Like the area is beautiful. The outside of the house, beautiful. When you go inside, neglect all the way. The person just bought it and did not keep up with it at all. So let me go more into this room, because now you're going to really get into how it was set up, okay? Because when I first saw it, it was giving me chills when I first saw it, because in every corner of that house was a room that had a bed in it. The room that I was in, okay, the room that I was in had 3 beds. 3 beds, and it was against the wall, straight against the wall. This is what gives me the creeps. It was straight against the wall, right? So, not against the wall, but coming out, right? And when it came out, when you look into the room, the ceiling had 3 fans. Then when I looked behind me, behind the beds, there were 3 refrigerators and 3 microwaves. And I'm taking all this in because I'm sitting here for about a week, right? And I'm taking in, how can somebody rent out a place like this? And as I'm doing my just observing, not even investigating, I'm learning what's really going on in here. And they literally had, you could tell, don't you know when there's like drywall put up and it looked like it was taken down, okay? So when I looked at the ceiling, there was an imprint of an old drywall, okay? So there was an imprint between each bed, right? It was an imprint of the drywall between each bed. It looked like it had been there for years because you could see the imprint. So there was a drywall imprint separating those 3 beds, and they made a wall closing those bedrooms out so that by the time they opened the door, they can just go straight into that bathroom. So it was 1 room, but they made 3 rooms within that 1 room, leading to the 1 bathroom that's in that original room, right? So each bed had a window, okay? So there was a window. So each bedroom that they made, it was a bed, a window behind it, and then they had a refrigerator and a microwave, right? So that was enough for them to say, okay, let's make this into a room. And they had a fan on top, right? So that's how they were operating that. And the rooms was enough for you to kind of just barely make it around the bed, and that was it. Like you could fit a bed, a miniature refrigerator, a microwave on top, and maybe like a little corner table. But the room was big enough that they put up two dry walls, and then they closed it off with another dry wall, put the doors on each room so that it can lead into the 1 bathroom that the room had. When I saw that, I immediately got like this. I was immediately disgusted. Because I was like, there was some illegal stuff going on. It was some illegal stuff going on there. It looked like it had been taken. I mean, obviously it had been taken down, but it was still that going on. So every opportunity that this person has tried to make a room, like any type of, apparently the person had used a closet and made that into a room. Used a closet and made that into a room. And somebody's actually renting that out right now as we speak. So this was the room that I was in. So he tried to call me back, and I think he had cameras in there. That was another illegal thing, but he had cameras in there. And when I was looking around, and I was like, you could see the dry, and I was talking to myself like, you could see the drywall, you could see what's going on, you could see what was going on. And he called me and said, you have that room to yourself. Don't worry about it. You're not sharing a room. But it was considered a study. And so I said, well, what is a study? Like, I've never heard of that. He's like, you share the room. But from the looks of it, even when that drywall was up, nobody was sharing. You were sharing a room, but there was a wall dividing you guys, or dividing people. It was so eerie. It was ridiculous. So then, I'm like, okay, cool. I stayed there, and I'm still trying to tough it out, right? And I'm trying to tough it out. And I said, you know what? I don't want to leave right now because I really need to concentrate on school. Like, I really need to concentrate in this training course. Again, if I don't pass, I'll get fired. You get what I'm saying? So, and for any of you who know me know that I've gone through a lot. So I can't afford to mess up. And I was willing to bite the bullet and stay there longer. You know what I mean? Stay there longer just so I can have a place to lay my head and I can study, So here we go. So I decided to ask the owner if because I'm limited on cash at this point. I'm like, do you think that you'll be able to work something out with me where I can stay a little longer? Would you rent outside of Airbnb? Some people do it, it's not like it was unheard of, And he was like, well, this is what I can offer you because these rooms are going for a lot of money. And that's what he said. And I was, at that point, I already knew he was delusional. But he was just like, these rooms are going for a lot of money, so I can't just, you know, give it to you at a discounted rate. He was like, but what we can do, we can work out something. And I was like, okay, what are you thinking? You know what I mean? And so he was like, well, I need the place clean, which in fact was true. My God, he needed that place clean. He was like, I need the place clean, and in exchange, you'll have a discounted rate. So I'm like, okay, that sounds okay. How much of a discounted rate? And you want me to just like basically be a property manager for your home? Now, mind you, I was a little weary on it because I already knew that he was doing something that wasn't ethically, morally, or even legally right. You know what I mean? And so at that point, I was beginning to question if this is something that I wanted to like take on, because what he was running was a whole scam. You know what I mean? And so he told me what he wanted, and I wanted to hear him out, you know? And so he said, you know, people are going to rent the rooms, and how he had it broken up for me was, you know, you're going to clean the rooms, and in exchange, you'll have a discounted rate on your rooms. Now, mind you, I felt like I should have had a discounted rate, or I should have been there for free. But at the same time, I'm not trying to be picky, because it was an opportunity and it was far better than what I had before. So I said, okay, I agreed to the terms and conditions, right? So within those terms and conditions, it was, you know, for every review that you get, you'll get an additional $20. And for every negative review, you'll be penalized $20. I knew he was already, sometimes you just have to listen to people. And that's what I'm learning. Sometimes you have to listen to people and see, you'll see how much they respect you or lack thereof, right? So I was like, okay. Little did he even know, in fact, had Airbnb for some time, you know what I mean? So I know how it works. And so the fact that he was telling me that this is what I'll do, and then I'll charge you, or I'll penalize you for $20, I was just like, okay, well, what are you saying? So he's like, okay, well, this is how it's going to go down. So you'll get $20 for every positive review, and then you'll get for every negative review, you'll get, I'll get out from you $20. Then he said, for 5 positive reviews, you'll get 120, and then we'll go from there. And if you get any negative reviews, then we're going to have to stop with the plan that we have. Something like that. It was something stupid. So I'm like, okay. I went along with it because I was just like reaching in, like, one, I wanted to see how far he would go. 2, I wanted to like just see, you know, I needed a place, you know what I mean? So I was like, all right, you know, I know my cleaning isn't bad. I know, you know, I know how to clean, but my thing is, his place was so disheveled and it was already falling apart that any type of complaint that would have came through, I knew it would have hit me, even though it had nothing to do with me. But his lack of care for the place was just disgusting. It was disgusting. And I'm surprised Airbnb like don't screen these homes before allowing people to rent out. But anyway, so I was like, all right, I'll go ahead and do it. So let me tell you guys, it was like, he said, all right, so with that being said, I'll go ahead and refund you. I'll credit you for 5 days worth, because I think I had 2 weeks with him. He's like, I'll credit you 5 days and you can go ahead and start the cleaning today. So I'm like, okay, all right, so cool, let's do it. Boom. I start the cleaning, 5 days go by. I noticed that he did not refund me the money back. And I'm like, I'm doing this and I'm not getting anything back. Then he started wanting me to do, now here's how all this started, okay? For me to even feel comfortable to even talk to him, in the beginning, I was just coming back and forth, going to work, doing whatever. He started reaching out to me, asking him to buy certain things for the house, and he would pay me back through Zelle, okay? So he initiated the conversation, and with that being said, I felt like, okay, well, if he feels comfortable enough to ask somebody that he's doing business with something like that, then let me go ahead and see if he's open to doing this. Let me present a proposal where I will go ahead and work for him, and because he needed help with his home really bad, and I was like, I'll just go ahead and help with your home. But again, once I started seeing some things, I started just kind of like backing out, like, because I'm like, we're not doing this. My name will not be attached to this. So now I'm jumping back forward. When he so I'm noticing that he had not paid me, and he was extended, like he was asking. What we set up was that I worked with him Monday through Friday for 2 hours. That's it, 5:30 to 7:30. But he started getting and asking more of me on those days, so I wouldn't finish until like 8, one night even 8:30. So he was getting time out of me, and I'm still sitting here keeping quiet, feeling like I'm stuck, feeling like I had no way. And then I think it was one particular day. Yeah, it was a Friday, and that was my last day working the 2 hours, and he was telling me to take out the garbage and do this and do that, and the demands were so high, and he wanted done in a little bit of time that we had originally discussed, that I wound up working over. And then he said, all right, I credit you the money. Let me tell y'all how much it was. It was $30. $30 and some change. You mean to tell me that I worked for you for 5 days, and I was supposed to get a discount, and that money was supposed to go into the next week of me staying there, and I could not do it because the money that he credited me was not enough to even cover a solid day? With that being said, I knew that he not only cheated me, not only did he cheat me of my time, he cheated me out of my money, and he cheated me out of just being a house guest. I didn't have that privilege of being a house guest from the beginning to the end. That I went ahead and I just looked for another Airbnb, and I left without saying anything. I left the room, and mind you, it was a lot going on. I showed you guys the pictures. I showed you guys, like, it was a fruit fly infestation. It was a whole bunch of stuff going on. Hey, welcome back to my channel. I know I look tired. I know I look crazy. And I do. This is unjustifiable. A lot has been going on. And as you can see, it's really starting to wear and tear on me. So I will discuss it later. But let's see the weather today. 'Cause nowadays I don't even move until the weather is looking right. 57 it looks like. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, 57. The rain is supposed to clear up, which means I'm going to go out and run, get some exercise in. Yeah, y'all. It has been some wear and tear on me. Like, seriously, this is probably. It's just I'm just getting drained more and more and more and more. I sometimes hate how disciplined I am, man. I'm out here and it's cold, and I got on a scarf ready to run. I'm telling you, being disciplined has its disadvantages, man. It really does. I'm tired. I'm cold, and I'm out here doing it. And I left because I was like, I'm not putting up with this. I'm not putting up with this. Y'all, I'm leaving, like, look at this. I'm leaving like this. I'm so glad I'm still here at the parking lot. But y'all, I'm so glad. You know, I was gonna really make it work. I was trying to really make it work. You know what I mean? I was out here really trying to make it work. And God was like, no, you bugging. You bugging. I was not gonna do that. So after that I left, but I left feeling like he knew what he was doing, because in the beginning as well, he was like, you know, I see that you're really humble. I see that you're going through a lot. Mind you, he don't know anything about me. He don't know anything about me. But I see that you're going through a lot, and I see this and I see that, and you're very humble. So I'm gonna offer this. And he made it sound like he was doing me a favor, when in fact I was doing him a favor. By me cleaning up that house, I was doing more than what I was supposed to do. You know what I mean? And whenever I walk away from something, I understand I always walk away from things knowing that I gave my all, like, period, you know? And he took advantage of that. He took advantage. He knew that I was studying. He knew that I was, in training. He knew that I needed time to study, and he took that away from me. He took that away from me and took advantage and demanded me to clean that house, demanded me to do this, do that for the promise of being able to stay there. But he was still charging me through Airbnb. So I was still technically a guest, but I was a guest doing more work than the average house cleaner. So I left, yeah. And I had one more night there, but I left, and I felt like apparently from what's being said is that there were investigations anyway with that home, but any type of hole, crack, or crevice in that home, he would turn into a room. Again, he turned a closet into a room. He's made 3 rooms out of one large room, like some crazy illegal stuff. That at that point, I was just like, yeah, I have to be done with this. I have to be done with this. I was like, God is going to make a way, and he did. A lot of times, God will show you the characters of people without you even trying. Yeah, I gotta go. Gotta go. So let me get going before these people wake up. Like, honey, I was like a thief in the night, a raven, honey. I just don't think you should treat people like that. Like, And this would have benefited both of us, you know? All right, let's see. He did. But I feel like Airbnb needs to screen these homes, because the pictures that I showed you, the experience that I had, the unprofessionalism, like, and apparently he was like living in a whole nother state, and, you know, managing these homes. But yeah, he got over big time on me. And I said, you know what? It's okay. It's okay, because it's only a matter of time before that place is shut down. It's only a matter of time. I did not feel, sometimes all you need to do is just, what I realized, sometimes all I need to do is just sit back. Just sit back and move on. Just sit back and move on. So that is the story of that. I didn't even finish my lashes. That is the story of that, because I was so like upset over it. I was really upset over it, guys. Because I'm like, how can somebody do this to somebody? How can somebody just take advantage of people like that? But people don't care about you. They do not care. So that's that story, guys. And yes, I'm at a new Airbnb. I'm glad I'm out of that situation. And because as much as I was trying to fight it, and I wanted to stay there, I didn't want to stay there, but I was doing it because I thought it was like, just, it would make more sense. But things were just getting progressively worse. And after he took advantage of my time like that, I was so mad. I wanted to cry. I think I did cry that night, because I'm just like, how can you sit here and take advantage of somebody like that, knowing that they're, you know, knowing they're not necessarily the situation, but knowing that they are in a vulnerable situation. You know, like knowing that they're in a vulnerable situation. It is what it is. And that's the story, guys. Thanks for watching.